Hi, I'm Carl Turner, reporting for Pixels and Pills from the BDI Social Communication and Healthcare Conference, and I'm here with Robert Halper, Director of Video Communications for Johnson & Johnson. Thanks for agreeing to speak with us.
Sure. My pleasure.
I have a few questions for Robert regarding J&J's YouTube channel, which is a very robust channel with lots of content. Robert, in terms of the channel, how do you go about vetting and figuring out what content you're going to include on the YouTube channel for J&J?
Well, for the most part, we're producing our own content. So I'll hire a producer and pick a story or a health topic that I'm interested in, and I'll have them produce it. There's some user-generated content that I solicit or other operating companies of Johnson & Johnson send to me, but nothing airs on the or gets posted on the YouTube channel unless a corporate lawyer takes a look at it and checks it for any kind of regulatory or trademark issues.
It seems like you do a really good job of keeping the content in continuity with J&J's corporate branding standards. When you're actually going through and trying to determine what the topics of the content are going to be, how do you do that to make sure that that's in line with J&J's standards?
Well, what I basically do is try to cover issues that are current in healthcare, like obesity. That's been getting more hits than anything else. And I do stories that some of the topics are in disease areas in which we have products, but some are not. Like we do stuff on yoga and fitness that up until this point we haven't really had much of a participation in the market. But I guess what my main purpose of the channel is not to necessarily sell products or services, is just to enhance the Johnson & Johnson brand as a trusted name in healthcare, and that's what J&J is all about.
Right. Now, I know in terms of the channel, you're constantly monitoring in terms of the amount of friends that you have, the amount of people who are viewing the content that you have. But how else are you measuring ROI in terms of the YouTube channel for J&J?
Well, ROI is always a difficult question with social media, and I don't have an ROI in terms of a dollar amount, but you're right, I count how many friends I have, and I guess I look at the most important metric is that, or the most important metric being how many people have seen the videos, and in less than 2 years I have about 1.8 million views, which I'm very pleased with. And I also measure sort of subjectively the comments I get, and I've gotten a lot of comments about people being appreciative of the content, and even praising J&J for having this kind of material available. So from that viewpoint, those are the metrics and the ROI I'm interested in. It's really hard, as you know, to get a dollar amount from some of these things. I'm sure there's a way of measuring it against advertising or word of mouth.
Okay, and in terms of predictions, everyone has their predictions for what FDA guidance is going to do in terms of easing pharma companies' ability to be a part of social media. So you're an expert on YouTube channels. So how do you feel the FDA guidance? What is your prediction in terms of what the FDA guidance will do for pharma companies who may choose to engage in channels like your channel, YouTube channel or other social media?
Well, there was a recent forum about that a few months ago. One of my colleagues, Mark Monceau, attended. We're all sort of anxiously waiting for a position from the FDA, and I think from what I know that they've listened to a lot of feedback from people actually involved, and it's going to be like anything else. I mean, they're going to be guidelines based on common sense. I mean, when there's an adverse event, it needs to be reported. When you can't promote drugs or medical devices out of approved use, and you have to respond to people, and you have to be very upfront about what is commercial and what is not, and who's producing the video. You can't produce a video on a product and not make it clear and transparent about who's producing it.
Okay, and you've been to lots of conferences like the one here today. How does this conference compare to some of the other conferences that are out there in terms of what's offered for social media in the pharma space?
This is a great conference. I've attended a few of these, mostly as a speaker, and they always seem to get a very good crowd. And this one particularly has, I think, up to like 400 people. So it's people that are very interested in this and very interested in what we're doing and discovering new trends. So I think it's a great conference.
Thanks so much for your time. I'm Carl Turner reporting for Pixels and Pills from BDI's Social Communication and Healthcare Conference.